warms up. A 401k law that was intended to boost employees' retirement savings may be doing the exact opposite. According to the Wall Street Journal, employees who are automatically enrolled by their employers into a 401k plan end up saving less than if they were to enroll on their own accord. That's because they're automatically enrolled at a low rate and are not reaching the recommended level. Joe is with a financial advisor to break the law down and explain what the ideal rate is in order to reach your savings goal. Joe.
Joining me this morning is financial advisor Keith Springer. Now, Keith, you were saying this is a double-edged sword. Go ahead and break that down.
Well, there's a positive and a negative. The positive is it gets a lot of people involved that normally wouldn't get involved. People tend to get lazy with their 401k. They tend to be afraid to make a mistake. So it gets people involved into a 401k and a retirement plan who might not do it on their own. The negative, of course, is it's usually at a 3%. And let's face it, 3% is not going to get you to where you're going to be able to retire. You're going to work forever if you have to invest at 3%. What you have to do is be proactive. People have to be proactive with their finances, be proactive with their retirement. They want to ratchet that up. If they're in a program that gets them into something automatic, they want to take it from 3%, 4%, 5% to whatever they can do, and they've got to get there. Otherwise, they're going to work forever. And let's face it, the purpose of a retirement plan is so we don't want to work forever, so we don't want to have to do that.
And that's another thing as well. So at what age, Keith, do we need to start to be really concerned? I mean, you should start saving into your 20s and 30s, but then ramping it up in your 40s and 50s.
Actually, ramp it up in your 20s and 30s, because the funny thing is people tend not to notice the amount of money that they put away. If you tend to put it away pre-tax, and remember, your contribution is pre-tax. It's only, there's two gifts that the government gives you, your mortgage deduction and your retirement plan deduction. Put it away early, you tend not to notice the difference. You don't notice a few dollars that come out, and if you get used to it in your 20s and 30s, it has many more years to grow compounded, and you'll be able to retire earlier, sooner, or at least be able to retire, versus somebody who doesn't start saving until their 40s and 50s.
Now, one of the problems I know some people have is, their kid's going to college, and sometimes you got to borrow against it. And I know you're going to tell me you're strongly advising don't do that.
Well, you've got to, again, you go back and forth. You've got to pay for it somehow. We all want to pay for our children's education. We want to give our children the best we can. But the idea of saving early, get the money invested. Remember the pre-tax, the benefit that it gives you. Most importantly, if your company gives you a match, make sure you match 100%. If they're giving you 3%, 4%, 5%, and you put in 5% and it matches them, that's a 100% return right off the bat. Don't turn that away. That is so critical for people to take advantage of. Tax deduction, be proactive. The other thing is make sure you pick the right investments. If they put you automatically into a plan, it may not be at 3 or 4%, but they may not put you in the best fund for yourself. Use a professional. Pick the right funds, talk to somebody that knows what they're doing.
See, that's another thing, too, and a lot of people think they can do this stuff on their own. And some people, if you break it down and you have that savvy, you can do it, but your suggestion is?
Well, you've got to use a professional. I mean, if I didn't do this for a living, I probably wouldn't want to do this myself. There's so much to it. In fact, I just wrote a new book about how to invest in this economy, in this market, facing Goliath. It's so critical for people to be proactive, use a professional, but as far as your retirement plan goes, get on it early, do it. Nobody wants to work forever. Everybody wants to retire. Everybody wants those years relaxing by the river. Let's take advantage of it. Get involved as soon as you can.
Keith Springer, we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Let's send it back to the desk. Amma?
Joe, if you have any more 401k questions for Keith, he can be reached at keithspringer.com. You can also check out his book, Facing Goliath, How to Triumph in the Dangerous Market Ahead. Paul?
I got more space shuttle stuff for you. I hope you don't mind, but some really neat and charming pictures. I showed this